You might think you know Rafael Nadal, but the truth is, even some die-hard tennis fans don't fully grasp just how legendary his career has been. This isn't a story about numbers alone. It is about grit, willpower, domination, and an unwavering refusal to quit even when the body begged him to stop. Today, we're diving into the top 10 facts about Rafael Nadal. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll understand why his name is spoken in the same breath as the greatest athletes in history. Fact number 1. The King of Clay. Literally unbeatable at Roland Garros. Rafael Nadal earned his nickname, the King of Clay, for a reason. Unmatched, unprecedented, and simply historic. Across his career at the French Open, he won 14 titles, more than any other player at any single major in history, male or female, and built a jaw-dropping 1-1-2-4 win-loss record on clay at Roland Garros alone. That kind of dominance on one surface isn't just rare, it might never be matched again. But what makes this even more insane is not just the volume, it is the context. Clay is physically punishing, every point is a grind, and opponents know every inch of the court strategy. Yet Nadal turned it into his personal playground. Defeating the world's best year after year on this surface became expected, and that is what separates the great from the truly legendary. Fact number 2. Second most Grand Slam titles in tennis history. Across his two-decade career, Nadal won 22 Grand Slam men's singles titles, placing him second on the all-time list, only behind Novak Djokovic. That total includes victories on every surface, clay, grass, and hard court, and shows incredible versatility in a sport where players often specialize. He captured the Australian Open twice, Wimbledon twice, and the US Open 4 times, proving that his weapons weren't limited to clay alone. Every surface demands something different: precision on grass, power on hard courts, and strategy everywhere. But Nadal adapted and conquered them all. Fact number 3. A career that defined an era. Nadal didn't just rack up titles. He helped define a decade of tennis. Alongside Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic, he formed what fans call the Big Three, a trio that dominated men's tennis for nearly 20 years and produced countless memorable matches and rivalries. His battles with Federer, especially the 2008 Wimbledon final, are widely regarded among the greatest matches ever played. These rivalries weren't just competitive, they elevated the sport itself. They set new standards for athleticism, longevity, and mental toughness. Nadal wasn't just a part of this era, he helped shape it. Fact number 4. Olympic gold on 2 different fronts. He also claimed 2 Olympic gold medals, one in singles at the 2008 Beijing Games, and another in doubles in 2016 with teammate Mark Lopez. That combination of Grand Slam success and Olympic glory makes his resume even more extraordinary. Olympic tennis carries pressure unlike any other event. You're not just representing yourself, you're representing your country. And Nadal delivered when it mattered most, bringing home gold twice on the world's biggest athletic stage. Fact number 5. Historic winning streaks and records. Let us talk dominance. Nadal once assembled an 81-match winning streak on clay, the longest single-surface streak in the Open era, and he consistently piled up titles season after season. This wasn't a brief peak, it was sustained excellence. He also won at least one major for 10 consecutive years, 2005 to 2014, a streak that speaks not just to dominance, but to consistency across eras, opponents, and surfaces. That kind of reliability at the highest level is almost unheard of in any sport. Fact number 6. Phenomenal on all surfaces, not just clay. Many people assume Nadal was only a clay court monster, but that underestimates his versatility. He was just as capable on grass and hard courts. He won multiple Australian Open titles, multiple US Open titles, and even conquered Wimbledon, a surface that rewards completely different skills from clay. Hard courts reward power and precision. Grass rewards speed and timing, and Nadal adapted to both with remarkable success. That is part of what makes his legacy complete. Fact number 7. The youngest career Grand Slam and Golden Slam achiever. Nadal made history by becoming the youngest man in the Open era to achieve both the career Grand Slam, winning all 4 majors, and a career Golden Slam, adding Olympic gold to the 4 majors. He did that by the age of 24, a milestone few athletes in any sport can claim. That is not just winning titles, that is checking off every box the sport has to offer before most players even reach their physical primes. Fact number 8. Longest top. 1-0 streak in history. Nadal didn't just reach the top of the sport, he stayed there. He remained ranked in the top 10 of the ATP rankings for an astonishing 912 consecutive weeks, longer than any other man in tennis history. That is consistency, durability, and elite performance lasting over 17 years straight. In a game where rivals rise and fall, injuries strike, and levels fluctuate, maintaining that level of excellence through time is almost unheard of. And yet Nadal did it, year after year. Fact number 9, 92 ATP titles. A career packed with silverware. Beyond the Grand Slams, Nadal also accumulated a staggering 92 ATP singles titles, placing him among the most successful players in the entire history of the sport. That includes 36 Masters 1000 titles, only behind Djokovic. Masters 1000 events are just a tier below the Grand Slams, the hardest tournaments outside the majors, featuring the best players in the world. Winning that many of them shows that Nadal's greatness wasn't confined to one tournament or one moment. It was season after season, surface after surface, against the world's best. Fact number 10. He retired a legend, not just a champion. Perhaps the most emotional fact of all is this. Rafael Nadal retired from professional tennis at age 38, bringing to a close an unforgettable, almost two-decade career. His final competitive act was representing Spain at the Davis Cup Finals, a fitting conclusion to a career built around passion, patriotism, and pure joy for the sport. Across injuries, surgeries, setbacks, and doubts, Nadal never quit. He fought through pain and sacrifice to return again and again, and even as his physical prime faded, his heart and competitive fire never did. So what makes Rafael Nadal more than just a great player? Let us pause and think about all of this together. A record-breaking 14 French Open titles that may never be matched. 22 Grand Slams, second most in men's tennis history. Olympic gold medals in both singles and doubles. The longest top 1-0 streak in tennis history. Dominance on every surface. Clay, hard court, and grass. A career that spans 3 decades and helped define a generation. These aren't just stats. These are stories of resilience, conquered limits, and unforgettable moments that will be talked about long after every trophy has faded. A legacy that transcends tennis. What truly sets Nadal apart isn't simply the titles. It is how he earned them. Few athletes in any sport are defined by the way they competed, lunging for balls that seem unreachable, diving into the dirt, grinding point after point until opponents broke mentally before they broke physically. He didn't just win matches, he made battles out of them. You watched Nadal play, and you felt something deeper. Grit, tenacity, courage. That intensity, that fire, is what makes his story so compelling. A champion, a role model, a human being. Despite his success, Nadal has always carried himself with humility. Even after victories that would define most careers, he emphasizes family, gratitude, and perspective. He doesn't want to be remembered just as a champion. He wants to be remembered as a person who worked hard, stayed grounded, and stayed true to himself. That is rare in elite sport. That is rare in life. And that is exactly why Rafael Nadal occupies a place not just in record books, but in hearts. Before you go, now I want to hear from you. Which Nadal moment defined his legacy for you? Was it his first French Open at age 19, his Olympic gold, or a comeback that took your breath away? Drop it in the comments, because this isn't just history. This is the story of how greatness was written on a tennis court. If you enjoyed exploring these legends of sport, hit that like button and stick around, because the greatest stories in athletic history are still out there waiting to be told. Rafael Nadal wasn't just a tennis player. He was an era, a force, and one of the most inspiring competitors ever to step on a court. Ready to talk about who might carry the torch next? Let me know, and let us dive into the future of tennis together.